Hey, good morning everybody. It's about 8:15 a.m. as I am recording this Pacific time. And I wanted to come on here because I was planning to do this once I acquired what you saw me acquire in the package opening yesterday. Because basically it's something that to me has been long overdue. It's been long overdue to try to obtain, even though I have different variety versions, formats if you will, of this movie. I wanted to basically, kind of see if I could complete, the collection as far as, being here in the U.S., here in North America. And as of this, as of Monday, I should say, that's, I think it was, yeah, Monday. I'm getting a little confused here. As of yesterday, I should say, I was able to do that. Now, a little bit of a side note, you're probably wondering why I was so quiet a little bit when I was doing the package opening. Well, yesterday was the Monday after Mother's Day, and essentially, the matriarch in our family, if you will, the matriarch in our family decided to take the day off from her job because she knew we were going to go and visit family out in Modesto, and that we'd probably be getting home late, and that's exactly what we did. We ended up getting home late, so not we, but she decided she was going to take the following day off, which was yesterday, to rest up and also catch up on some work and stuff. And that's what she did. She decided to use the time she has to catch up on some work. But with that said, it also meant that for the second time within a week, or within 2 weeks, well, not 2 weeks, but within a week, because it's been a week since I got the MetaQuest and everything. But for the second time, a package came to me when I was basically not expecting it to come, when it did. I was expecting it to come basically when I'd have the place to myself and everything, but, what are you going to do? So, you just deal with what you got to deal with, you know what I'm saying? Now she has a package coming herself, but what's crazy about that, not to get off topic, is she she donates when she can to TBN and CBN, and the missions and everything. And sometimes they will offer a free gift, like for any amount you get a book, or for 25 or above you get a book and a CD. And she was gonna get a book and a CD from CC Winans. And what happened is, it hadn't come yet. It had been almost a month. It'll be a month, excuse me, a month tomorrow since she placed the order. And what occurred basically was TBN had our old address in Patterson still on file. I mean, you would think being connected with CBN and all that, they might, help things out and everything, might, change up all the addresses when people move, but that wasn't the case. And apparently, the person that now lives in our former address ended up getting the package instead of us, instead of our matriarch, if you will. So basically, she had to fix all that, and now she'll be getting it probably within the next 2 weeks, if not less than that. But yeah, like I said, it's just one of those situations to where yesterday, just like a week ago today, she decided to take the time off because she wanted to rest up and everything. Last Tuesday, she didn't schedule to take it off or anything like she did today or yesterday, because what happened a week ago today is somewhat is what's happening right now. Basically, there was a major accident on I-5, on Highway 5, going into the Bay Area, into the Tracy area and into Livermore, and it was so backed up that basically people were showing pictures and videos of all it on Facebook, that she decided, I'm just going to turn back. I'm going to call in, use my time. I'm not going to go in and I'm not going to go in very late because of this, because it would have made her very late, unlike today. So and anyway, long story short, that's kind of that's kind of what happened when it comes to the packages. And my advice, basically, before I get going here, is to always make sure that if you're going to get packages, you know, via Amazon, eBay, Walmart, or whatever, or if you're going to have people sending you packages, always make sure that you get those packages when you have an opportunity to do package openings without, you know, any questions or issues, you know, given, if you know what I mean. But with that said, let's get into what this is about. And of course, this is about Transformers the movie. And as you all know, I have different versions of Transformers the movie, you know, all across the board before I got what I got yesterday. And just to show you what I mean, I'll show you this in a minute. But yeah, basically I got all kinds of different versions of the Transformers movie, including, I'm going to start off simply here, including one, sorry, let me just make sure it doesn't move too much, 2, and 3. I have the original Marvel print. I have the original Marvel print. I got it from Mile High Comics. I ordered it through them. And basically, this was the first adaptation, comic book wise, of the film. So that was pretty cool. And they have scenes in this comic as well as in the other one that they didn't have in the film. Because the comic book adaptations were always done basically months, if not a year, before the movie was finalized and made. They would go off storyboards and scripts and sketches and all that and just go from there. But yeah, I got 1, 2, 3, basically all 3 issues. It's early, like I said, it's 8:22 a.m. right now in the morning as I'm recording this. But 1, 2, 3, the whole trilogy, 3 parts of the Marvel adaptation of, you know, of Transformers the movie 1986. So that's pretty cool to have right there, if you will. And these actually are, you know, kind of an archive in time, because when you look on the insert, you look at the back here, like this is the back for one of them, if you will. You can look at that. It's got like a advertisement for Gumby and Pokey, for Brock's candy. I can't really eat that candy right now, even if it's still around. The lollipop with the gum in it, because of what's going on with my teeth. So have to wait on that until later on. Excuse me. But you know, they do. It is a big advertisement. I mean, look at this. Look right here in the middle. Look at that. That is a blast to the past. That is an advertisement for NBC Saturday morning. So you got Alvin the Chipmunks, you got Kissy Fur, you got Gummy Bears, Foo Fur, Smurfs, you got Punky Brewster, the animated series kid video, and One to Grow On. So pretty cool. Pretty cool. It's a nice little blast to the past there, if you will, with that. But yeah, that was that. But yeah, this here is the Marvel adaptation of the film. The next comic book adaptation came out when IDW had the license, and they didn't do, and here's the thing, they took it up a notch, you know, unlike the original Marvel adaptation, and they decided to do 1, make sure I got this right, 2, 3, 4. They decided to do 4 adaptations, not adaptation, but 4 issues of the comic book adaptation, updated comic book adaptation of the movie, and this was done, as you could tell, for the 20th anniversary. So that was pretty cool to see there, that they did this to tie in with the 20th anniversary of the film, which was released on DVD by Sony, and I'll show you that in a moment. But yeah, you have 1, 2, 3, and 4 all together. So that's really nice to see. And again, just like the Marvel adaptation, they base it off, you know, not only scenes from the movie, actual scenes from the movie, but they also base it off some unused concepts. They actually show Shockwave dying, in the film, or not the film, but in the, in the comic and everything. And then they show you on the back of the first issue advertisements for the 20th anniversary edition, and then on the back of the last issue, same thing as well, along with the release date. Excuse me, excuse me there. So, yeah, there you go. So that's the IEW adaptation, if you will, of Transformers, the movie. But there is another version of Transformers the movie, but it's one, unfortunately, you got to spend a lot of money to get your hands on. Basically, the other version of Transformers the movie you could get, video-wise, if you will, you're basically going to have to spend a lot of money, though, to do it. And as you can see through these pictures, it'll cost you basically, in the range of basically a little over 500, if not half of $1,000. Basically, 530, 500 something dollars, $560, you name it, 600 at most. And that's mainly because if you buy them directly or you bid on them and win them, you have to have them imported from Japan. Now, there is one in the U.S. If you go on eBay, there is one in the U.S. But the same thing, you gotta pay basically basically a little over a half of $1,000 just to get this. Basically, you gotta pay as much, if not more, than what the Switch 2 is going to be, just to get the Laserdisc version, or Laserdisc version, excuse me, of the film. But yeah, it is possible if you want to do that. If you want to save up money and everything, put it aside and say, okay, if it's still available, I'm going to get it. Go ahead, more power to you. But basically, I think you'd be fine without doing that. However, like I said, if you have more money, not more money, but you have money saved up and you start doing that, more power to you. Or if you know people in your family that's rich and don't mind lending you that much money, go ahead and do it as well. That's up to you and everything. But my suggestion is just be glad of what you have and everything, and try to get at least what I did yesterday, and that's the original F.H.E. Release, if you will. But yeah, basically the Laserdisc version is out there, but it's a Japan only exclusive. Unfortunately, there is no Betamax version. There is no beta version, if you will, as far as I know. I'll look again, and if it is, I'll update you here. But yeah, there is no beta version. There is a Laserdisc, but it's Japan only, and you're going to have to spend half of a fortune just to obtain it and put it into your collection. So yeah, I would say just stick with what you got and everything. But if you're a real hardcore collector, go ahead and try. I'll tell you one thing: if I do find a way to save up some money and everything slowly but surely, and it's still available, I might look into it myself. But honestly, I'm just glad to have what I have right now. But yeah, But long story short, guys, you know, if you have people that can lend you that kind of money without an issue, go ahead and do it. If you're willing to save up for that, go ahead and do it. But I'd say just stick with what you got. But yeah, you want the Laserdisc? If you want the Laserdisc, I should say, imported from Japan or even sent to you from someone here in the U.S. that has it, it's going to cost you, a small fortune, or at least half of a small fortune, in my opinion. Okay, guys, so yeah, basically it's gonna cost you a I wouldn't say tiny fortune, but it'll cost you a lot of money just to get, the movie on Laserdisc. I mean, I was even looking up something, online after I recorded the audio there, and basically I'm not the only one that's curious about it, and everybody's saying, yeah, if you want to buy something like that, it's gonna cost you a lot of money. So so yeah, like I said, best of luck to you guys. To anybody that wants to hunt that down and spend that kind of money, down, to obtain it in the collection. And like I said, I looked online for, for beta. There was nothing there, as far as I know. The only beta Transformers there is for the episodes that FHE put out previously, which were like, Roll for It, Transport to Oblivion, and all that. So basically, like I said, best of luck to anybody that tries to obtain that on VHS, not VHS, but on Laserdisc, if you will. And best of luck if anybody can find a beta version as well. I'm sure there is one, but it's probably just like, the Laserdisc. It's gonna be an import from another country like UK or Japan or something like that. But best of luck to anybody that can find that. But anyway, to continue on with Transformers, speaking of, I guess you could say the size of a Laserdisc. We all know that the Laserdisc, if you will, and even the CEDs and the DiscoVisions, if you will, were all basically record players. CED was a little bit more different. Basically, it's like you pop in basically the case, if you will, and then you pull it out after you have it set in there. You have it set in, and essentially you get the movie just like that. Basically, it's a container. The case is a container that you put into the player, and then you pull it out once it's once they grab the hold of the disc, and away you go. But like I said though, like I said, I just checked something here. But like I said though, basically, I want to move on to something else Transformers related that basically is on, like I said, that size of a disc, if you will, and that of course is the soundtracks. Now I don't have the CD versions on me right now, so to speak. I don't have the CD versions on me right now, as far as I know. I don't have them on me, but I've shown them before. But I do have the 20th anniversary edition CD of Transformers the movie. And I do have the original CD version, or at least a reissue of the original CD version of Transformers the movie, available in my possession, if you will. But I don't have them, on hand right now. One's in my the original reissue, the reissue of the original Scotty Brothers release. It's in my CD pack. It's on the other side there of my bed, so I got my bed all made up right now, so I'm not going to dig that out. And then the other one, the 20th anniversary one, is in the closet there, but I'm not going to dig that out right now either. I don't think it's down here. I'm looking here. Hold on for a sec. I don't think it's down here. If it is, I'll pull it out real quickly. But I don't think it is. I don't think it is. Hold on. Trying to see. Nope, that's not it. Let me pull out some stuff here for a second. No, it's not here. It's in the closet. It is in the closet, but I'm not going to pull that out right now. But I've shown you it before. I do have it. Believe me. I do have it on CD. And I also have it on my Spotify playlist, if you will. I also have it on my Spotify playlist, as my phone just falls there for a second. But like I said, I do have it on my Spotify playlist as well. And speaking of which, I also now have it not once but twice on another format. I have it twice on CD. Of course, again, like I said, the reissue of the original Scotty Brothers release, and then the 20th anniversary release for the soundtrack. But I also have it, believe it or not, I have it not once, but twice. I have it not once, but twice on vinyl. This is a reissue by At the Movies of the original vinyl version of the soundtrack. At the Movies re-released this. And then, I think, who did this one? Legacy Records, which is part of Volcano Records, or associated with Volcano Records, did this nice two vinyl set, two record set, vinyl set of the soundtrack, which was really, really cool. So we have the vinyl one here, and then we also have, like I said, the other vinyl one. This is the reissue of it. Basically, it's a reproduction, which is pretty cool. And if we pull it out real quickly, gonna be real careful with it. You can see it right there. And then pull it out here for a second, but gotta be real careful. There it is. This is a reissue, a reproduction of the original vinyl soundtrack. So there's side 1 and there's side B. So really, really cool to have that in the collection. The moment I heard that they had re-released it, I was like, well, I gotta get it. Even though, like I said, I have the soundtrack, like I said, not once but twice on CD and digitally, through Spotify and such. I knew I had to get the vinyl as well, and especially if it's a reproduction, even if it's a reproduction, I should say, of the original soundtrack. I knew I had to get that, so it's really nice to have in the collection. But then I heard about this. I heard people had gotten their hands on this and they were talking about it, and I was like, well, I gotta get it. And that's what I did. And as you can tell, it's got Optimus Prime right there in the background, behind the Autobot logo, and then you got the Matrix right here on the back, along with what's on both records and everything. But what's interesting about this is it opens up like a little booklet, and you have yourself a nice little mural there of the Autobots. So that's really cool. But then if you open it up further, look at that. You open it up further, and you get pretty much a whole thing like that. That's really cool. Get a whole thing like that, if you will. And the way they placed the records, I thought was interesting too, because right here you have the red record, which is the Autobot record. This is the Autobot record and everything. So there you go. That's the Autobot record. And it's in the opening sleeve right there. But then the Decepticon one, that was interesting the way they did that, because what you have to do is you have to open up this side here, and in here, right under Soundwave, is the Decepticon one. How about that? You get the Decepticon one right under Soundwave. So so really, really cool the way they did that. And what's interesting about it is what's interesting about the set though is, again, you look on the back here. You look on the back and everything. You look on the back, and basically, as I make sure everything is in there, but you look on the back and everything, and it shows you what's on each record. Like on the Autobot one, on the red Autobot one, you have the Touch, Instruments of Destruction, Death of Optimus Prime, Dare, and Nothing's Gonna Stand in Our Way. And then on the Decepticon side, you have the Transformers theme by Lion, Escape, the Vince DiCola score. You have a Hunger by Spectre General, and you have another Victor DiCola score, and then Weird Al's Dare to Be Stupid. So you have those, you have those individualized on one-sided vinyls. So that's really cool. So you have one-sided vinyls on here and everything. So really, really nice to have in the collection, in my opinion. And if you're looking, soundtrack wise to complete your Transformers the movie collection, this is one way to do it in my opinion. Get this and you're good to go. Because what it does is it saves you from having to turn this every time, if you know what I mean. But yeah, basically, let me just lift that up a little bit more. But yeah, basically that is the soundtracks of Transformers the movie. And again, like I said, I do have the movie digitally, not the movie, but I do have the soundtrack on CD and twice, the 20th anniversary and the reissue on CD of this version with this cover, as well as I have it on my Spotify playlist as well. But that's going to do it for the soundtrack version, and let's get into the format versions with the movie being released. So yeah, the first thing I want to start off with here first is the basically the digital version here. This is from Vudu. I also have it on Amazon Prime. I also have it on Amazon Prime and everything. But here we have the Vudu, the Fandango at Home digital version of Transformers the movie. This is the as you can see in the image, it is the 4K version. It's the 4K version. The one on Amazon is also 4K. Well, it's not 4K. The one on Amazon is not 4K. But if I wanted to upgrade it to 4K, I can. But I have that one on Amazon Prime on regular HD. This one on Fandango, I should say, is at 4K, and it looks decent. It looks really good in my opinion. But nothing. But it's still nothing compared to the actual disc itself. But anyway, yeah, I do have it on digital and everything. But Transformers the movie is one of those movies, though. If you want to buy it digitally, you have to buy it separately each time. If you want the movie on Prime, you want it on Google. You want it on your Google Play or your Apple Store and all that, or you want it on Fandango at Home or wherever. Even Comcast or Spectrum or whatever, where you buy your movies, you have to buy it individually. If you try to find it under Movies Anywhere, you're not going to find it. Because basically it's one of those situations to where the license is just like the people distributing it, like Shout Factory and Lionsgate and Paramount, they don't play well with others when it comes to like, hey, we'll share our revenue with all the other parties. So basically, again, you got to buy it individually, unfortunately. You got to buy it individually on its own. So if you want it in 4K and you got to spend $20 on that on Fandango, you got to spend it there. If you got to do the same at Amazon, spend $20 individually, you got to do it there, so on and so forth. But yeah, I do have it on digital. I even have the movie on a, believe it or not, I have it on a micro SD. I think I have it. I don't know if this is the one. I don't know if the one I'm holding in my hand is has it on there. But I do also have it on a micro SD card because the 30th anniversary edition gave you a code for a digital digital download, not digital redeeming for online and all that, which again you would have to spend money to do individually. But I do have it also on a micro SD, if you can believe that. But yeah, I do have it on digital 4K version on Fandango and regular one on Prime, regular HD one on Prime Video as well. But yeah, let's get on to the other formats it's available on, shall we? Okay, guys. So, yeah, I do have it on digital, but like I said, the unfortunate thing though is digitally, you have to buy it individually. If you want it, like I said in the audio, you want to buy it on Fandango for whatever it's going for in 4K, got to spend that price. You want to watch it on Prime Video, you got to buy it individually there. And if you want to watch it on 4K via Prime Video, same thing, you got to pay the price that's there as well, so on and so forth. It's just one of those crazy situations to where even when the movie came out for its 30th anniversary on Blu-ray, you would think, oh, it's gonna, it's giving us a digital code. We'll put that in somewhere. We'll get a free digital movie added to our library. Nope. It's mainly for something to where, like I said, as I was recording the audio, and I was holding this in my hand, it's basically to where you would have to download it as like an MP4 file, and basically probably put it onto something like this to watch on your phone, which is a micro SD or regular SD card, if you will. But yeah, that is the unfortunateness of the movie digitally. You know, it's just one of those situations. Again, basically, whoever owns the rights doesn't want to play well with others, if you know what I mean. But with that said, let's get on to the other formats here. Of course, for me, when it came to finally owning this on VHS, I ended up first getting this version. I actually had two. I don't know what the other one is. The other one might be packed away, but it does not have the special collector's edition on top of it. It doesn't have the special collector's edition, you know, on top of it or anything. You know, because of the fact that the first one I got, and again, I think it's somewhere packed away, or I may have traded it in. I can't remember. But the one that, you know, doesn't have the special collector's edition on the top, basically that was the UK version of the film. No joke. Some reason when I ended up getting it, it wasn't this way. It wasn't this way. It was basically the UK version of the film. It was the UK version of the film, to where you had the Star Wars like scroll at the beginning recapping you on everything up to that point, just in case you didn't watch the series and all that to its full extent, which I did. You know, being a kid at that time, of course I watched the whole series, you know. So anyway, basically I ended up getting this version because I heard there was a special collector's edition, and, you know, along with the other version. So I ended up getting this version, I think from Suncoast or Hastings, one of those two places. I ended up getting this version. This was the release by Kid Rhino, and this is and this was basically, like I said, the first time I owned the movie officially on VHS. First time I ever owned it, and basically that's what the, you know, the tape looks like and all that. And it is 86 minutes, of course. 86 minutes, released in 86, kind of ironic in that nature. But yeah, this is the first time I owned the film and everything. But it wouldn't be the last time I'd own it, because later on, when I got into DVD, I decided to upgrade to the DVD version. I upgraded to the DVD version, and this is basically the same thing as the VHS, and it's completely, according to this, completely remastered, unedited version, 5.1 surround, you know, storyboards, animated chapter breaks, and an exclusive interview with composer Vince DiCola. Vince DiCola, of course, was also known primarily for doing the Rocky score, some of the Rocky score, as well as he was working on the movie like Cobra and everything. So yeah, he's very, very well known for, you know, doing great musical scores. And then here we just have, you know, the disc. We have a nice little advertisement for another franchise that Kid Rhino had the rights to at the time, which was the soundtrack for Battle of the Planets. And then we have our chapter breaks right here, and, you know, with this nice little thing here. But then, like I said, we have the CD with Optimus on there and everything. That's, of course, after his battle with Megatron and everything. So yeah, we have that right there, which is really cool to see. And again, as soon as, like I said, I got my first DVD player, I decided, yeah, I'm gonna upgrade, and that's, you know, that's what I did. So got the Kid Rhino version. But then 2007 comes along, right? 2007 comes along, and I was working at Walmart at the time in Lawrence, Kansas, and some of the people I worked with was really great. Some of the managers and stuff I worked with was really great, and one of them helped me out. And right at midnight, when this was released on, what was it? When did it say it came out? Let me see. I know it said it on the back of one of these. The 7th. On November 7th at midnight, one of the managers helped me to get this, because we were a 24-hour Walmart in Lawrence, Kansas. A 24-hour Walmart. And basically, at midnight, you know, when everybody would show up for the midnight releases, one thing I wanted to get, because I was off work at that time too, I think, or I just got off work. One thing I wanted to get was Transformers the movie 20th anniversary edition, and guess what? That's what I ended up getting, along with the lithograph. That's right, this thing came with it. This is the lithograph that came with it. And basically, let me just, whoops, sit behind it. I didn't want that to happen. Put it there. But yeah, I ended up getting the lithograph with it. And the 20th anniversary edition is a 2-disc set. And what's interesting about it is the movie's on both discs. The movie's on both discs. But what you get with the disc 1 is you get the 16:9 theatrical widescreen version, and with disc 2 you get the full screen version. And you get a bunch of extras on here too. Like on disc 1, you get All About Matrix of Knowledge, full-length movie featuring fun facts and trivia, commentary by Nielsen Shin, the director, Flint Dilley, story consultant, and Susan Blue, voice of RC. You get fan commentary. You get some people from, I think it was TFW 2005 or TF 2005. Oh no, it's what is it? TFW 2005, and the other website Cybertron. Cybertron, not cyber, not like with S, not with SY, but it's Cybertron. I think you get those are the ones doing the commentary. You get original theatrical trailer and TV spots. You get, what's this one? Kind of see there. What does that say? You get credit test. Oh, you get Cinex and credit test. You get photo gallery, Scramble City with commentary, fan commentary, remastering side-by-side comparison, Transformers 2007 live-action movie trailer, and special sneak peek. So along with disc 1 of the 20th anniversary, you would get a sneak peek along with the trailer for the 2007 live-action movie, which started that whole thing. And then on disc 2, you get, for bonus features, Activate All About City Trivia Game, DVD-ROM, all new featurettes, I should say, Death of Optimus Prime, casting characters and Transformers Q&A with Tom Griffin, producer, Joe Bacall, producer, Flint Dilley, and Susan Blue, promotional trailer with commentary, test deleted alternate footage, and test deleted / alternate footage with commentary, animated storyboards, US and Japanese toy commercials, Scramble City commercials, and DVD-ROM link to exclusive content. And then you get 5.1 Dolby Digital, English 2.0 stereo, and everything. And you get subtitles in French and Spanish as well. And yeah, basically there you go. That's what it is. And then when you open it up, you get a nice little booklet here. But it's not just any booklet this is. It's not just any booklet. This is as I open it up here, put it right here for a second. This is like a mini comic of this is basically a preview of the mini IDW comic, if you will. Basically the sneak peek of the comic that I showed you. So there you go. And then on the back, because here you have Optimus here, and then you have that here, a little website that you can go to, Tag World, if you will. And then you got Rodimus right there. And then you got Quest for the Best, EverQuest 2 advertisement, and then DirecTV advertisement. And then you get the chapter listing right there. So it's really, really nice to have. And then you can also get a rephrasing of you get another side of the features and everything right there. Because what this is a reversible cover, believe it or not. Yeah, it's a reversible cover, if you will, if you wanted to do that. It's kind of reversible, but here you have Unicron on this one, on disc 1 on the widescreen version, and then on disc 2 you have the Matrix And then when you take out this too, you have Rodimus right there. If you will, Hot Rod Rodimus with the Matrix right there. So, you know, there you go. Pretty neat to have in the collection and everything. And was just really happy to get it when it came out, along with the lithograph. So, really cool. And then, if that's not enough, of course, when Shout Factory finally got the license to distribute it, well, before we get into that, if that's not enough, I was watching, shout out to Zero Nizarek, by the way, of Multimedia Chronicles. When I was watching one of his videos, he talked about this. Others had talked about this, and I was like, well, I got to get it myself. And basically, within the last year we were living in Patterson, I finally got it. And it was one of the first Blu-rays I got, because when I started to get into Blu-ray, and this was like years before 4K and everything, several years, but when I started to get into Blu-ray and everything, basically around the, I think, late 2000s, early 2010s, if you will, started to get into it. Still have mostly DVDs, but was getting into the Blu-ray. I decided, okay, I got to get Transformers on Blu-ray. That was going to be one of the first things I did for a Blu-ray, and along with the other movies I was getting, and went out, found it, you know, ordered it, and lo and behold, here it is. Transformers the movie on Blu-ray. It's got the PG rating, of course, a PG sticker on it. It was distributed by Madman Entertainment. And that's out of the UK, Australia, if you will. The UK and Australia, I should say. And it's made in the USA. It's region free. Region free, that was the one thing I took note of from Zeronheiser and others. Region free. But the special features, I think, were not region free. I'm not really sure. I have to look again. But of course, we have these, for special features on this one, we have Scramble City, Japanese commentary, Japanese exclusive bonus episode, interview with story consultant Flint Dilley, Q&A with Optimus Prime Peter Cullen. You see 80s top TVCs, let's see, 80s toy TVCs, TV commercials, TV spots, and theatrical trailer. The Touch music video with Sam Bush. You got character, voice actor, and let's see, I'm trying to see the. Okay, character, voice actor, musician biographies, commentaries, features and extras, deleted scenes, animated storyboards, and bonus episode of Transformers Beast Wars on here. So there you go. And that is the movie right there on Blu-ray. This is the first Blu-ray release, if you will. And then there's the Blu-ray disc on the back, or inside. You might say, well, it looks kind of like it's fan-made. And you can kind of think that. And then on the inside, it's got a, you know, advertisement for the toys and all that. But I did play it when I first got it, and it did work. I think the bonus features did work as well. I got to double check. Well, some of them at least did. But yeah, there it is, the release on Blu-ray, first Blu-ray release of it, outside of the U.S. So, yeah, I was just happy to get that. And again, it was one of the Blu-rays I wanted to get when I first got into Blu-rays, first started to get the Blu-ray disc and all the Blu-ray players in the house and everything for me and my family. Then, speaking of Blu-ray, when Shout Factory finally got the distributing license for the movie, because they had also gotten the distributing license for the G1 cartoon and Beast Wars and all that, you know, through Hasbro, because they were distributing a lot of Hasbro stuff at that time. You know, I had to end up getting this as well when I heard they were doing it, and they were doing a Steelbook edition. Guess what? Got a Steelbook edition. And this was the 30th anniversary release on Blu-ray for the first time in the U.S. Again, not the first time it's been on Blu-ray, but the first time in North America and in the U.S., if you will. It's got a nice little slip cover right there, if you will. And the bonus features are To All Are One, a brand new comprehensive documentary looking back at Transformers the movie, with members of the cast and crew, including Flint Dille, cast members Greg Bergen, Grimlock, Susan Blue, RC, Neil Ross, Springer, Dan Glavalzan, singer-songwriter Stan Bush, composer Vince DiCola, audio commentary with director Nelson Shin, Flint Dille, and Susan Blue. That's ported over from the 20th anniversary edition. Then you got featurettes, storyboards, trailers, and TV spots. So again, the commentary on here is ported over from this. But yeah, this is the first Steelbook edition, and that's the back of the thing right there. And then here is the Steelbook edition, the first Steelbook. Pretty cool. It says To All Are One on the back. Really nice. There you go. And then in front, you do have a code. I've already used this code, so I don't think there's any reason to show you it or anything. And I think the website's probably expired and all that. Yeah, you got to redeem it. Yeah, this thing's about 8 years old this year. But yeah, that was basically, as I mentioned earlier, how you got a digital version that you had to put on your like I said, SD card and everything. And then there you have the 30th anniversary sticker. That sticker was actually on here, but I decided to carefully take it off and put it on here. And then you see the Autobot symbol right there. And then you get 2 discs. You get the widescreen version on Blu-ray, and then you get the full screen version on Blu-ray as well. Take that out real quickly. And what's unique about the way they did this, and it's a little tricky, is you got to be careful about how you take out the disc and all that. But yeah, you got the Decepticon logo on the back as well under the full screen. But yeah, that was the code and everything that gave you the digital version that you couldn't just automatically get on Fandango or anything like them. No. You had to basically, you know, you had to actually download it to your computer and then put it onto, like I said, an SD card or something like that. So yeah, it was kind of crazy. But there we go. That's that. And then I got not one, but 2 of these. And that is the 35th anniversary edition of Transformers the movie, which came out, I think, what was it, 2021? 2021, isn't it? It's kind of weird. It's been that long? Yeah, I guess it's been that long. Because this is the 30th anniversary edition of the film, 30th anniversary edition of the film. And what's crazy, and Sarah Nitherak knows this if he's watching, I sent him this version as well, and he said, he told me and everybody else in that video when he did the package opening, he said, you guys don't have to worry about sending me Transformer stuff because I'm going to get it myself. I wasn't aware of that, but I just wanted to be friendly and all that, so I sent him one, and I guess he's kept it for a backup or collector's edition. It's kind of like what I did with the Sonic ATM released by Shout Factory. I have the unopened version over here and my opened version over here. The unopened version I'm keeping as a backup or as a collector's edition. Same with this. But yeah, this is the unopened version, and this is the open version. And again, this is for the 35th anniversary in 2001. Not 2001, but 2021, excuse me. Like I said, it's early while I'm doing this. It's now 9:09 in the morning, Pacific time. But yeah, basically, this is the 35th anniversary edition that came out in 2001. I think 2001, oh, not 2001, 2021, excuse me, like I said, it's early. 2021 or 2022. It came out around that time frame, which is pretty cool. No, I think it was about, yeah, it was about 3 years ago. It was 2021 because when you look, it was 2021 because when you look on YouTube, they show you how many years it's been since you watched the video. And I looked at Sarah Nitherak's video on mine. And matter of fact, I'm going to look that up right now as I'm talking to you about this. I'm going to look that up right now. Let me just put in package. Should pop up, yeah. It says 3 years ago, so basically it's going to be 4 years later.
High school.
It's going to be about 4 years later this year. So yeah, about 2021. But yeah, I ended up getting, like I said, 2 copies of them. The reason I got 2 copies is because I think it was this one was delayed through Amazon of all places. And this one I got through Shout Factory, directly from Shout Factory. This one through Amazon. So I figured, well, when this comes, I'm just going to keep it as a backup. And that's what I did. So, and the same thing with Aaron Isaac. He's doing the same thing with the one I gave him. But yeah, Transformers the movie here on 4K. This is the first time it's been on 4K. And the bonus features are new 4K restoration, new full-length storyboards, new 2016 private acoustic performance by Stan Bush, and then we got the 2 all-in-one feature that's on this one, and then of course the commentary, which is again the same commentary from the 20th anniversary, featurette storyboards and trailers and TV spots. So yeah, that is the back of the steelbook. The steelbook version, I should say. Put that right here. And then here is the steelbook right there. And then we open it up. And the difference though with this one, and before we get into with the bonus material, that the bonus gifts they added in, you get a nice little art thing here. Like the other one, you got the with this one, you got the Autobot symbol and Decepticon symbol. Here you get a nice little thing here. First of all, you get the movies. You get the widescreen UHD. I'm going to put that carefully down there. And again, same kind of release as the Shout Factory one. Same kind of design. Basically, you got to be careful how you bring this out. So this is the... There we go. This is the Blu-ray release. But then there you got a nice little mural there. So that's pretty nice. That's the one thing I know that people like myself and Darren Isaac and Frank Hill and Patrick Butler all don't like is when the video distributors decide to put the movies like this, even though we know Blu-ray and 4K Blu-rays are very scratch resistant, it's kind of hard to get them out and everything. But yeah, we have a nice little mural there. It's kind of nice. Put that down for a second. And then here, the difference... Whoa! Almost had a disaster there. Almost had a disaster. Thing kind of slipped down. Shouldn't have done that. Be just a minute, folks. Be just a minute. Whoa. Everything just came crashing down there. Everything just came crashing down. Just be a minute, folks. Just be a minute. Hold on. I'm trying to get things back into order here. Everything came crashing down. Didn't mean for that to happen. So tighten that. Okay. Sorry about that. A lot of things came crashing down. Didn't mean for that to happen. Don't worry, didn't damage anything. Yeah, see, we're gonna put that back here. And then put that right here. And then put that right there. There we go. Little bit of an accident, guys, don't worry. But like I said, so yeah, got a nice little mural there and all that. So just keep it like that for a time. I'm not going to do that again. There we go. But now, like I said, we're going to show you what I was trying to say is, unlike with this does give you a little bit of a gift. These are art cards and everything. These are art cards from the 4K release. And they're just screenshots from the movie, which is really cool. Little screenshots and everything. Like if you want to frame these and all that, you want to display them, it's really cool. Like nice little art cards and everything. And I think they're about the same art cards as well. It's really cool. Really, really, really nice. But yeah, that's what came with the 4K release. And like I said, I think they might be the same art cards. I think the unopened one here also has the same kind of art cards as well. But let me know if they're different. Let me know. Let me know if they're different or something like that. And you notice I put the sticker for the art cards right there. So a little like, where they're at, like what's in there and everything. Stick that back in there. Come on. One thing about doing these kind of videos is you got a lot of stuff to work around. You know what I'm saying? Alright. So, with that said, let's get on to the one that I'm saving for last. Let me get some coffee here for a second. You know, the one I'm saving for last. And that, of course, is the one that, as far as North America goes, started it all. It started it all. And that, of course, is Family Home Entertainment. And this past March, mid-March, early April, was the, believe it or not, the 38th anniversary of when it first came to home video. And I've told this story over and over again. When I was young, basically, I was just starting kindergarten, believe it or not. I was held back a year. My mom taught me, my mom and dad did that for a reason. Mainly because I had, my medical issues and stuff and a little bit of ADHD. Still have a tiny bit of that I still have a tiny bit of ADHD still going. Not much like I used to as a kid. But anyway, like I said, my excuse me. But like I said, my mom and dad held me back a year. My mom taught me at home in homeschooling. So she taught me. And basically when I first started school, around 86, public school, I knew that the movie was coming out. I knew the movie was coming out in theaters. And when March came around, I was in kindergarten, and my mom and dad told me that if I behaved in kindergarten, because I did have issues getting, kind of getting adjusted for the first few months and everything, just like any kid at that age, even if they're a year behind. But anyway, they told me if I behaved, not just at school, but at home, they would reserve the movie for me when it came out. Because we used to live in Hayward, California, and we lived in the apartments on Harder Road. I think it was Harder Road. They say it's another road, but I always thought it was Harder. Maybe it's just me. But, we lived in the apartments, and they told me if I behaved, they'd, rent the movie for me. Because the video store we would go to at the time, this was before Blockbuster. I think Blockbuster was just starting up and everything. It wasn't like, in our vicinity just yet. But it was coming, to our area real soon. So I remember, I remember basically going to Neighborhood Video in Hayward, California on mission. It was because, and the reason it was on mission, basically in Hayward, it was going towards our grandparents. My grandparents who lived on Thomas Avenue. So we would go by there every day, to go visit my grandparents, or we'd go by there or go into the area because we had to shop for food and all that. And if me and my sisters were good and everything, and if we could afford it, which, at that time, the 80s, finances were okay, they would basically allow us to rent movies and games, and they would rent stuff for themselves. So we would go to Neighborhood Video. And I remember going to Neighborhood Video one day, and they had a big poster in the window showing Transformers movie saying coming soon. And then they had a big old whiteboard behind the checkout area that said coming soon, and I think it had the release date. It said Transformers the movie. And I told Mom and Dad, and I asked my Mom and Dad, please, I want to watch this movie, I want to see this movie. And they're like, well, if you behave and everything in school and at home, we'll get it for you. And I did exactly what they asked. And on that Friday, That Friday of the week it came out, you know, they called up Neighborhood Video and they said, hey, can we reserve this? They said, no problem. And next thing I know, we ended up getting the movie when it came out, watching it all as a family after dinner. And I think my mom was taken aback by how violent it was, because she's the one that popped me in front of the TV when the show came out, so I think it took her by surprise. But anyway, watched it and continuously watched it. And anytime I got a chance to rent it, I would, even if I embarrassed myself, like I did one time as a kid, in Fremont. Very, very embarrassing story. I basically was invited to go and visit, go to the video store with our neighbors from across the street. And I saw the movie there and I wanted it, and I just threw a fit. I don't know what got into me. It was embarrassing, and everything. It was very embarrassing. So, thankfully they did rent it for me just to calm me down, because I guess they didn't know what else to do. Because I wasn't our neighbor's kid. I was the neighbor's kid's best friend. But everything. But because we had a lot in common. So basically, long story short, they rented it for me. I gave it back to them, and they had to turn it back in. But I never went back with them to K Video again. But we all got along in the neighborhood for a while, because we all had could relate, and we all shopped at the same places, went to school. And all that, rented from the same place and all that and everything. But over time, I would rent the movie any chance I had an opportunity, any chance. And when 1989 came around, Transformers was on Saturday mornings. They had been moved over to there, and they would usually get maybe about an hour block, maybe a half hour, and then everything else would come on after that on KBHK, which is now KBCW. And basically, I would, as I've talked about before, I would look in the TV guide, and anytime I saw the 9 to 11 blocked out, and it just said Transformers, I would know it was either showing the Five Faces of Darkness, or they were showing the movie. Five Faces of Darkness, of course, was the was basically the pseudo sequel to the movie, because it continued right after it. Basically, it was like, a year later. And sorry about that, guys. The thing got a little too hot there and everything. But again, I wanted to come on here to make sure everything is connected right here. But wanted to come on. But like I said, wanted to finish up by saying that, because I guess I got a little too long in the mouth, if you will, talking here. But like I said, basically, my family, 1989. KBHK, KBCW had the rights to Transformers, and basically, when they would show the whole entirety of Five Faces of Darkness, the season 3 premiere, the follow-up to Transformers movie, or the movie itself, they would block out 9 to 11. Or, and if not that, it would just be blocked out for a half hour, maybe an hour, and that's it. So, basically, I saw that they had blocked it out. I was reading the TV guide, and I saw that they had blocked it out and everything for 2 hours one day. And my mom basically told me, very similar to when we got to rent the movie when it came out, that if I'm good at home, good at school, I can record the film. And I did. I was able to record it. Yes, it was clean. It was kind of cleanified, if you will. Basically, the swear words were gone, but it was basically still the same film. And then I remember a little after that, they started to show the movie in parts, because they were still showing the series. They were still showing the series, not just on Saturdays, but actually this was before they went to Saturdays, because they did the same thing with G.I. Joe. In fact, it was a little after they did it with G.I. Joe, where they split the movie in parts. They turned the movie into a miniseries. And they did this after they ended season 2, and then they used it to bridge season 2 and 3 together. Anyway, like I said, to get to the point, I remember that Saturday I got to do that from 9 to 11 on KBHK, now KBCW, when we lived in Fremont. But anyway, like I said, that was the only time for a long time that I ever had ownership of the film. But it was basically the it was not toned down, but it was toned down swear-wise, if you will, version, Saturday morningified version of the film. It was toned down swear-wise. There was no damn it, there was no oh shit, or anything like that. It was just toned down, if you will. In that department, everything else was pretty much the same, and the same with the miniseries adaptation of it that they did around that time, around that time and before it, as well. So anyway, like I showed you throughout this entire video, my first VHS was this one, then I followed it up with the DVD, and then the 20th anniversary, 30th anniversary, 35th. So I figured, okay, I want to see, just out of curiosity, if the movie is out there. And I don't know why I started thinking this, and all that. I don't know why I was thinking this. No, I think I do know why I was thinking this, because basically CBS Saturday mornings, the news outlet on Saturday mornings for CBS, put on the YouTube page the fact that a lot of stuff was coming back into circulation, like cassette tapes and all that. So, I figured, okay, well, cassette tapes obviously are going to make a comeback, it looks like, and everything. And I kind of kidded around with my family saying VHS is going to be next, but I wouldn't be surprised if they are. And I think that's what got me to thinking, okay, I wonder, just out of curiosity, if maybe the family home entertainment version of Transformers is out there. And I think it was something else that got my curiosity as well. I think it might have been Zara Nizarak. I was watching one of his old Transformer VHSs or something, and I was just thinking to myself, I wonder if maybe the VHS is there. So, long story short, I looked, and as I said in the package opening, basically I saw several different prices. One of them was for the movie individually, for about $50, and then one was for 3 VHSs. One was the Kid Stuff release of See and Read, which is part of the educational See and Read series. And the other one was a pseudo sequel outside of Five Faces of Darkness to the movie. And in fact, the VHS that got released because of it kind of declares it down on the back. And then the other one was the movie. So I figured, I saw the price, I figured I'm going to have some money by then. And after what I've been through, I thought, you know what? I'm going, despite what people say, I'm going to get myself the MetaQuest, which I did, and I'm going to get myself these VHS tapes. And that's what I did. And lo and behold, as of yesterday, it was actually supposed to come today. That's when it was expected, basically to come today. But, of course, it came a little faster because of, the mail and, everything basically being put through and all that. Basically the mail going through as quickly as it could, but, of course, with the new rules and everything, that all depends. So, lo and behold, yesterday, 2 days before its original expected delivery date, I ended up getting, and let me see if I can make some room here. Move this down for a second. Ended up getting, and we'll move this to the side. I want that to tilt. Right, let me move that for a second. There we go. Ended up getting Transformers the movie, the family home entertainment version. This is the one that was on video shelves when it came out to rent, and at certain retailers to buy. And I think they didn't. And I think you could only rent it at first, and then I think maybe, what was it, a couple months later you could buy it. But yeah, basically this is the one I saw, on a lot of video shelves, Neighborhood Video, Blockbuster, K Video, Neighborhood and K actually at first, Blockbuster, you name it. I saw them, this is how I saw it, just like this. I saw it just like this, or just like this, or just like that. So, yeah, got the original VHS cassette. This is not the, now I will say this is not the same one I got, not the same one I rented, I should say, as a kid. It could be, you never know, but it's not the same one that I bought, same one that I rented as a kid, if you will, from neighborhood. But it could be, you never know. But basically, it's overall the same cassette. Not the same one I rented, but it is the same cassette, if you kind of understand what I'm saying there. But yeah, we have the original Family Home Entertainment cassette right here. Pretty cool and everything. And what was interesting about this is Family Home Entertainment also continued this kind of tradition with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Yeah. When the 1990 live action movie came out, when the 1990 live action movie came out, they also were the ones that got the rights to distribute it, release and distribute it on VHS. Yeah, Family Home Entertainment got to be the ones to distribute TMNT, the 1990 movie, on VHS, Beta, and Laserdisc here in the United States, as well as have help in distributing it up north in Canada as well, through Alliance and all that. So Family Home Entertainment basically were the ones to basically, like I said, get the rights to release these films on the home media first and foremost, because they were the ones releasing the shows, the episodes on VHS, before that. So they got the rights to do the movies first before anybody else. And I do have the TMNT 1990 movie from Family Home Entertainment packed away in the garage. I don't have the cassette. I don't have the case anymore, but I do have the cassette. I do have the VHS. But yeah, here we go. But yeah, they were the one, but they were able to be the ones to distribute this as well. And as you can see, it's the same kind. Pretty cool. And everything. You can read the back there. Look at that. That's just amazing. Now, obviously, it has a little wear and tear. In fact, if you can see, there's like a little bit of tape there, and tape there as well. Because if that's not there, the thing's gonna to come up and all that. But pretty much, it's in decent condition. It is in decent condition and everything, and you got a little stamp there and all that. And then, just to confirm, take that out. There it is. Look at that. Transformers the movie, 86 minutes. Pretty cool. It's got a little V stamp there or something. And doesn't say anything else, which is really nice. Really nice to get and everything. But yeah, there it is. All the way around. That is just unbelievable to finally have the original, to finally have the original VHS release in my hand, along with the other release I have other releases I have as well. But I couldn't just get that as well, because along with that and the see and read that I got in the package opening yesterday, I also got this, and this is looked at as, like I said, the pseudo sequel. In fact, it even says it on the back, the must-see sequel to Transformers the movie. I have and ended up getting The Return of Optimus Prime. And you can tell this one's been a little bit, this case has seen better days as well. But yeah, there it is, The Return of Optimus Prime and everything right there. It's really cool and everything. In fact, if you don't believe me when I say the Transformers Return of Optimus Prime, the must-see sequel to the movie, read that yourself. You can see for yourself that that's exactly what it says. Yeah, it's exactly what it says. And like I said, the cassette or the case has seen better days. But this was a later release by Family Home Entertainment, because you can see that the sticker is a white sticker and everything. So this was a later release by Family Home Entertainment. But you can also tell it's got a beat, and I pointed this out in the package opening, be kind, please rewind on there. And then on the side here, it's got West Coast Video. And like I said, it's got a be kind, please rewind. Now, when I was rewatching the video back, I didn't even notice this, but it also has this on the side. I'm sure some of you might point this out. it had this on the side. It has West Coast Video on the side there. So look at that. So obviously somebody bought this from West Coast Video when they were, I don't know, I guess closing out or something. They were closing out stock or something. So yeah, but somebody bought this off West Coast Video. So now it's in my possession. But yeah, this is the, as they call it, the so-called sequel, the anticipated sequel to the movie. So it was kind of nice to get that along with the film. And now I have, like I said, both in my collection. But yeah, pretty much, yeah, that's pretty much now all the versions of Transformers the movie I have format-wise, as far as it goes here in the U.S. and North America. Like I said in the audios, basically, if you want the Laserdisc, you're gonna have to import it either from Japan or get it from some people that have it here in the U.S., but it's going to cost you some money. Believe me, it will. But yeah, pretty much that's about it, guys, for this video. I hope you all liked it. Let me know what your thoughts are down below in the comment section. Love to hear from each and every one of you on this. What are your thoughts on me acquiring and adding in the original Family Home Entertainment version of Transformers the movie? And let me know if you guys have done this as well, to where you have all the different formats of Transformers of the Transformers movie that you can afford, from physical to digital. Let me know if you've gone out of your way to try to get the original as well, the original VHS release, to complete that collection outside of Laserdisc. I do know, I looked online, obviously there's a beta. Let me know how much that beta is. Maybe I'll look into that in the future. But the only betas, like I said, I've noticed is for the episodes that got released on VHS. But anyway, though, guys, that's about going to do it. Again, let me know what your thoughts are down below in the comment section on the live chat during the premiere. Like the video, ring the bell for notifications, subscribe to the channel, share the video if you like the video, like I said. Also, follow me in the description and all the outlets where you can find my content. You can find me at all your favorite audio podcast and video podcast affiliates like Spotify, iTunes, Pandora, Radio Public, iHeart, Overcast. Wherever there's a podcast, video, audio-wise, you will find me there. Also, you can find me at rumble.com at BWRoses. You can find me at odyssey.com at BWRoses-5. You can find me at VENMO at BWRoses. You can find me over at twitch.tv and kick.com. You can also find me, ladies and gentlemen, at deviantart.com at BVW1979, inkmoney.net at BWRoses. You can also find me, ladies and gentlemen, at my Teespring store for merchandise you can't get anywhere else. You can also support me over at patreon.com at BWRoses. I have a new video content under the $3 tier and $5 tier. If you want to help me there, $1 helps me out as well, especially with the tea situation that I'm going to be dealing with bill-wise in the future. Also, you can support me through Venmo and Cash App if you would like. Also, guys, you can follow me over at TikTok at BWRoses. Follow me at Twitter, aka x.com at BWRoses, and at Blue Sky at BWRoses. But guys, again, let me know what your thoughts are overall. Thank you all for watching this video. Really appreciate it. And until next time, guys, I will talk to you later. God bless. Take care.